Hello there, you're welcome to the Marketplace with me, Charles Ayete. Coming up, President Akufo-Addo charges the Bank of Ghana to, as a matter of emergency, investigate the causes of high cost of lending.
Interrogate the issue of high interest rates in Ghana and how the problem should be addressed to enhance the competitiveness of the private sector.
Akufo-Addo's charge comes as the cost of loans going up slightly from next year, as the Bank of Ghana is likely to increase it by 14.5%. We'll hear from the Fitch Solutions research arm of ratings agency Fitch. Also, debates to remove or sustain the 50% benchmark value at the ports pit manufacturers against importers. Will engage the Ghana Union of Traders Association as well as the Association of Ghana Industries on this matter. We have all these stories and more coming up shortly after this break this day.
Hello, I'm Dori Nando. You can catch up with all the fun on the Cosmopolitan Mix and on all our shows via podcast. Just go to My Joy Online podcast and search for your favorite show and relive those moments all over again. Only on Joy 99.7 FM, radio for discerning listeners.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Hello and welcome. Now, the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry will be using its business forum this week to champion the cause of reviving small-scale businesses that were affected by COVID-19. Another theme, redefining business success and, of course, emerging business angles amid COVID-19. Mark Bedu-Abuaji is Chief Executive of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Yeah, welcome back and apologies for that mix-up there. But let's start with a development story. The president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, Dr. Joseph Obeng, has reiterated that any intention by government to scrap the 50% benchmark value at the port will be suicidal. Now, government has made no stand on either removing or reducing the benchmark value. No hint in the 2021 budget estimates, as the AGI held the position that the reduction in benchmark values by up to 50% had cheapened imports and dampened demand for local substitutes, resulting in a slowdown of growth in manufacturing companies. Well, Dr. Joseph Obeng joins us, as well as the Chief Executive of the AGI, Sir Chuma Kwabwa. We're so grateful, sir, that you could join us. Let me start off with you, Mr. Chuma Kwabwa. The AGI has recently, in the Industrial Summit, saw the president of the association, Dr. Edu Jemfi, call for a relook into the benchmark value. What is it about the 50% benchmark value that is slowing the growth of industries?
I think that AGI's position on the benchmark value reduction has never changed. It's been so since the very onset when it was announced. And our position has been very clear that you don't need to reduce the benchmark values for all products. For products that we have local capacity to produce, let the benchmark value be maintained. And then those that we don't have the local capacity to produce, you can reduce it to whatever level. So I think that is the essence of it. And the reason is simple, that if you reduce the benchmark values that way, and virtually what happened was that we had import duties on those products reduced by about half. And it made the products much cheaper than it was before. And that puts the pressure on local manufacturers. And therefore, once they cannot compete, their market size dwindles, and eventually they may even collapse, as is happening in some of the product areas. So the whole essence of this is that keep the benchmark values or review it, and let's discuss how the review could be done. We are not asking for a total withdrawal of that policy. We are asking for a review, and the review should be such that it should support local industries. So that is all what that is about. And we keep making this point, and that's exactly what the president of AGI said at the industry summit last week.
So regarding this particular, submission there, has there been any formal petition to the government, the Trade Ministry, the Finance Ministry for a review?
Yes, we've done that. We've actually made petitions to the GITC, that's the Ghana International Trade Commission. We've made petition to the Ministry of Trade, and we've made petition to the EMT, so that we don't shy away from it. We've made petition because we think it's in the interest of the country, it's in the interest of business, it's in the interest of industry for us to do so. And it's also very much in the interest of job creation. Government has made it an agenda to create jobs. Government has made an agenda to support industrial development. That's why they've come up to the one district, one factory and all that. So if the very objective you have is being derailed by other policies that government is coming up with. It must be pointed out. So we have made petitions to these outfits.
Of course, let me bring in Dr. Joseph Obeng. The AGI is making a strong point, Doctor, that the sustained growth in manufacturing is key. We are looking at job creation under the 10-point industrialization agenda. How is this suicidal from your perspective? Because you've described this as suicidal and a dent on, the trading community at large.
Yeah, the benchmark reduction policy came to solve a problem. And that problem still persists. And especially at this time that we are not in normal times, where commodity prices have gone up, where freight charges are going up astronomically, the prices of essential commodities like food and other things have all gone up in the market. If you recall, Council of State even called us to find out why prices of goods and services have gone that astronomical. So the times are not ripe for such a removal of a lifeline policy that have been helping us.
But of course, we did hear clearly from the AGI that they are not calling for a removal, but they're calling for a review to sustain local industries.
What are the industries are they talking about? They should come up and say that these are the industries. These industries have been able to help the country achieve sustainability. We don't have any such company that can boast of that. We do
have local industries that are really pulling their weight. We do have local industries within Ghana's freight that are really having international, precedence. We're talking of Casa Preco, we're talking of Inkulunu and the other industrial, companies.
Yeah, when those companies are capable, you see that you cannot even compete them. When they are able to work, when they are able to perform, and that's what we aspire. We want all the manufacturing companies also to do. Before you come into manufacturing, you should have done your due diligences to know where you have the competitive advantage. All the companies that are doing marvelously well, they do not complain about these things, because then the locals cannot even travel and bring the goods. And that's where the government should look at and support them. When they talk about rice, we haven't achieved rice sustainability. We haven't even gone up to 20% of the national sustainability that we aspire. We haven't gotten even 20%.
Well, but the AGI has also raised concerns about dumping, Doctor. They've raised concerns about dumping. When we're having the benchmark value at 50% and we're increasing the import yields, it ends up in matters regarding dumping, which in fact, it disrupts their value chain of operations. How do you respond to this?
Dumping is where the locals do not even have the ability to consume. The rice that is coming here is because we do not have a self-sufficiency in the local productivity. We don't have it even to consume, and then these goods come and we consume. So it is not being dumped here. And let me tell you, even the one that they call is local production, it's not even local production. They also bring the
raw materials
from they bring this in paddy rice from abroad, and then come and refine it here. And then about 6 people will be at the refining place, and they say that it's local productivity. No. And when it comes to even edible oil and all that, they bring all the crude. Those people who are lobbying, the company that is lobbying have billions of hectares of plantation in Indonesia, Malaysia, and elsewhere. And he is not making any conscious effort to make plantation in Ghana. And you bring the crude, the so-called crude from East Base. And so what are they saying? They are just using government, take advantage of a hide under they disguise themselves as manufacturing and then cheat on government. It's
Mr.
not
Chubakwakwa, I'd want
loss
you
of
to respond to
manufacturing
this,
or
and
local
even if you could
productivity.
add this to that, I want us to have a clear understanding of the growth pattern of manufacturing firms, local industries, from 2019 since the benchmark value took effect till now. Help us get an appreciation of the growth patterns of local industries along these lines. If you also would want to respond to him, you have the right to do so.
Well, I think that my friend Mr. Ben should relax and not stress himself up too much. The point is that we are talking of local production. Local production, there's nowhere in this world that everybody does 100% of everything. I think in most manufacturing countries, there is some value addition that is done. That's why we call it a review. When we review, we can specify the percentage. If the percentage is that if you don't add more than 50% value locally, it cannot qualify. That is part of the review. But you cannot say that because you import raw materials and then some part of the product is outside, then it's not manufacturing. That is not so. Manufacturing is not defined by 100% production. It is value addition. The percentage that we add, we can all debate it. That is one. The other thing is that bear in mind that some countries, because they want to push the export agenda, they give special incentives to their manufacturers to push into your market. And there have been several instances like that. We have taken issues to the GITC, and it's been resolved at that place. And some of them, some duties have been imposed. So there's evidence to back that. It's also important to mention, you said what has been the trend. You know, specific industries have suffered under the benchmark value introduction. It is clear, the figures are there. We can interrogate it at the right time. The figures are there. So we cannot say that it's been all good for everyone. And indeed, if you want to support manufacturing to grow, and as I said, we are talking of continental free trade agreement, we are talking of one district, one factory. If you want to prepare our industries to be competitive and export to this market, you don't destroy their capacity now. You cannot say that you should have 100% local capacity before you introduce such incentives. It's not done anywhere. You need to grow it. And growing it means that the existing capacity you have, you protect it. Protection does not mean ban goods from entering your market. All other economies do so. Why are we singling Ghana out? All other economies do so. Recently, when Nigeria has even banned 41 certain products from entering their markets. What about that? So we are not even asking for a ban. We are not asking for any special taxation. We said, let the status quo as it was remain for the products that we have local capacity to produce. That is the argument. The thing of the trading public are also traders of local manufactured products. So what do we give the impression that the trading public is only the traders of imported products? So if we produce locally, and the goods are available at a competitive price, the traders can also deal in those products. It's not really affecting the trading public. It is really anything. The effect is actually on a few importers, and there are only a few who import to also supply. These same traders who are sitting in the market, they are also marketers of locally manufactured products. They can get the products from local sources. And so if you give the impression that when you remove this policy on certain products, the traders will all suffer, it is not true. There are other alternatives. They can source locally. It's only a few importers who are also benefiting from this. So I think that when we look at these issues, let's look at it from a strategic point of view for the country. What is best for us as a country? Are we going all out to liberalize everything? Then we should make every import zero. Kill all our local manufacturers, let the investment go, let people sit at home, buy and sell. That's all we want to do. Let's do it. But I don't think that is the objective that we all want to achieve. That's why we are saying that we are not asking for complete withdrawal. We're saying that let's review it. And the review, you go into details. And I'm surprised Mr. Bin is saying that there's no local manufacturers who can have capacity to produce anything. And there are several products we are producing in the country, and their own members are marketing some of these products. So I think that when you ask for a review, it means do thorough analysis of the product range that we are talking about.
All right.
Do thorough analysis of the level of value addition we are doing, and see how we can incentivize local producers to come up so that it supports the development of the country and the government's own agenda of growing local industries.
Mr. Shumakwa, we're so grateful for your time. Dr. Obin, we're also grateful. Just have 30 seconds to just wrap up, Dr. Obin.
Yeah. The reason why I'm saying is suicidal. These people, they cannot even sustain. We have been there before. President Rawlings' time, they introduced special taxes so that it will encourage local productivity. And then the locals try to buy goods from local sources. You send money to them 6 months, 8 months, they haven't been able to supply the goods to you. That's what I call we haven't attained sustainability. And then the reason why I'm also saying that is suicidal is that before the introduction of the benchmark policy, Cote d'Ivoire was importing rice of over 1.5 million metric tons. After the introduction of the benchmark policy, they are now importing around 1 million metric tons. It means that over 500,000 metric tons were being smuggled through the Western Corridor. If taxes are not affordable, it induces a lot more smuggling.
All right.
And it doesn't help government and the industry itself. And for them as manufacturing industries, they have it all. Government give them all the necessary subsidies. Government give them exemptions. They give them tax exemptions. The VAT that they pay is refundable to them. And they have it all. They cannot transfer any gain into the consuming public.
So it's quite clear. It's quite clear that both sides of the divide, the AGI and the Association of Ghana Industries, are much more bent on a review, if possible. Guta still insists there should not be a review or retraction of the 50% benchmark. But do you know what? We're going to be getting the Finance Ministry, the Trade Ministry, players in this space to give a reaction and the stance to this once and for all. When we do that, we'll give you updates in our subsequent bulletins. We're grateful to both gentlemen for their inputs on this matter. Thank you very much, gentlemen. But moving forward, the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry will be using its business forum this week to champion the cause of reviving small-scale businesses that were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Under the theme, Redefining Business Success, the case of SMEs in Ghana, the Chamber aims at engaging SMEs on many international agreements signed by the country and how they can benefit. Mark Bedu-Abuaje is the Chief Executive of the GNCCI.
As part of our activities as a chamber is to ensure that we strengthen the SMEs. We help them to redefine what we are calling success from just profit to being sustainable into the long term. Now, prior to the COVID, most of them were fragile, so they were recording bits and pieces of profit here and there. And COVID came, and most of them have collapsed because they were not sustainable. So idea for this forum basically is to ensure that we build their capacity at the micro level. Always the concentration has been at the macro level, where we talk about inflation, we talk about exchange rate, we talk about policy and interest rate and how they are affecting businesses. Now we are going down to see how the businesses themselves manage their resources to ensure that they are profitable and sustainable into the future. So for this particular project, I think it's very relevant for every SME. If you want to have a sustained business into the future and create profit and wealth for yourself and for the country, then you don't have to miss this particular SME forum, because the topics that we have selected are very key in building their capacity, and the resource persons are on top of their game. For instance, it's important that as a business, you should be able to identify the risk within your business and put in place mitigation measures. If you're not able to do that, any shock and your business will collapse. And also, we've heard several times SME complaining, we went to the bank, we did not get a facility, they said I should go and bring this. You have to assess yourself even before you approach a bank. Am I credit worthy? Am I on point? Do I keep proper records? This we have Kobianda, who is the MD of Bank of Africa, just to take these SMEs through what they have to do to make sure that they are credit worthy even before they approach a bank.
And of course, this forum will be on the Wednesday, the 25th of August at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. Absa Bank has begun the move to ensure that many of its customers are migrated onto the bank's digital channels as part of its digitalization agenda. The new branch aims to serve businesses in the North Industrial Area and some individual clients with banking needs. And of course, speaking to Joy Business after a short ceremony to open the branch, the retail banking director of Absa Bank, Charles Ado, said this new edifice will boost the confidence of the customers in dealing with the bank. Here's more.
After transitioning to the new phase of banking, Absa Bank Ghana wants to be identified as the best digital service bank in the country, with the migration of majority of its customers to at least one online or digital service. As part of the move, the new North Industrial Area branch will be used as one of the self-service branches where customers get their needs without hassle. Director for Retail Banking at Absa Bank Ghana, Charles Ado, told Joy Business, this new branch is part of the bank's agenda and ready to serve all types of customers.
Our key focus was to be the top of mind to the customer. When you talk about retail banking, you want to talk about Absa Bank. And in doing so, we had to push our digital agenda. We became digitally led. And in the process as well, we thought it necessary that all our branches are given an uplift in terms of a great ambience so that our customers can do the best business. And also areas that we felt that it wasn't very conducive to the customer, we had to relocate. And that is why we came in here. In this branch, it's a lot of self-service and digital facilities to help our customers get the best service. In this branch as well as serving all our different types of customers. We have corporate, we have business banking, we have retail customers also being served.
Meanwhile, branch manager for the North Industrial Area, Michael Ahili, has been explaining some of the services to be provided at the new digitally focused branch.
This fantastic edifice is like a one-stop shop for any other banking product that you want to. Talk of bill payment, digital services, top-notch. We have the normal banking transactions, the withdrawal and then deposit. Forex, we have the street transfer that we actually encourage most of our Forex customers to do all their transactions over here. So it's a one-stop shop. And this is the place that each and every customer needs to be.
Absa Bank Ghana is therefore using the new branch to solve the banking needs of the industrial area and North Kaneshi community.
Well, just before we leave, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority has opened the 2021 Sound Art Premium Art Exhibition to the general public. Speaking at the launch, the Chief Executive, Dr. Efuasabi Asari, called for deepened investment in the fine arts industry.
Our mandate as an authority is to identify, develop, and promote products and services made in Ghana on the global market. But charity, they say, begins at home. The industrial art and craft sector is one of the 4 categories of exports GEPA caters for. As an agency under the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the interventions we support are mainly to boost the quality and production capacity of the export sector, to enable us meet demands that result from us going on and on and on about export Ghana, export more. Our support is also aligned to one of the key pillars of Ghana's National Export Development Strategy, which was launched in the last quarter of 2020. The strategy's objective is to achieve a revenue of $25.3 billion by the year 2029. We'll only be able to achieve this if we harness resources and focus on the key pillars, which includes taking advantage of what we have in our arts and crafts space.
The ministry will continue to support Ghana Export Promotion Authority and other partnering agencies to deliver on its mandate of enhancing the capacities of industry players to promote export and export diversification. The African Continental Free Trade Area provides an opportunity for Ministry of Trade and Industry to expose the private sector to over 1.3 billion consumers among 55 African countries with a combined gross domestic product of 3.4 trillion United States dollars. We can do this by using fairs and exhibitions such as this. I will entreat all of you present, artists, curators, and attendees to fully participate in the Intra-African Trade Fair 2021 to be held in Durban from the 15th to 21st November 2021. The Intra-African Trade Fair is an indispensable market access and information sharing avenue necessary to unlock the benefits of implementing the African Continental Free Trade Area. Two great Ghanaian artists, Chris Samoa and Alice Asafo-Adjei, were selected by the organizers of the London Design Biennale 2021 to represent Ghana. Their response to the exhibition theme of resonance was amplified. The art piece they displayed explored the conversation between Ghana and two of its former colonial rulers, Britain and Denmark.
And that was the Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, Herbert Krampa, assuring of government interest in, of course, investments to export the art and craft industry to the $3.5 trillion continental free trade market. That's how we end Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Many thanks once again. Enjoy the rest of our programs.